Hello fellow photographers, welcome to another episode of the Planit Photographers video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we will talk about the stars and star trails feature. If you swap down from the title bar to show the Information page chooser, we have this whole night photography category, and the stars and star trails are the first one. You can just tap to select it. Or you can tap the first purple indicator over here to select this page. On the Information page, you can see there are two rows. And the first row, we have the star name, and by default is the Polaris. The reason we show the Polaris is because for star trails, you want to show the Polaris so that you can have a circle of the star trails. That's why we make this star to be there by default. And here it shows the elevation angle and azimuth angle of the selected star. And you can tap here to select different star, which I'll show you later. And over here is a toggle button, which toggle between the star mode and the star trails mode. And right now, this part was highlighted. That's why it's a star trails mode. And if you tap here, it goes to the stars mode, which basically the 500 rules and some other rules that you can talk about later. Let's go stay with star trails mode first. For the star trails mode, on the second row, we have a starting time and we have an ending time. The starting time, the time is dark enough to take star trail pictures. And if you tap here, you can see we have this yellow line that indicating the star is visible. But in this case, there is some slightly complication here. By default, we consider the moon. During the night, if there is a moon, we don't consider it's a good time of star trail. So that's why even though Polaris is pretty much visible all the time, if you look at here, the Polaris right over there and at a 32 elevation angle. So Polaris is visible, but we don't think it's a good time to start in the star trail because there is a crescent moon right over there. So that's why. But this is a setting that you can change. If you go to the setting, you can see here, moon allowed for star trails. And you can tap here if you select full moon, which means I'm okay with whatever moons on the sky. I still gonna take star trail pictures. You can select this one, and go back. You will see the difference. Now you see the yellow line. It's covered the full night. So that's a preference for you. That's why it's an option. If you think you're okay, you like to take star trail pictures with the moon, this is the option you want. And if you don't want the moon during the star trails, you can go to the setting and change to no moon. So right now you can see here is a moon period and here is a star trail picture. And right now is 9:02, which is this time over there. That's when the dark light started, and here the dark light ended. It's the two time. And here the duration between these two starting time and ending time. And this is the angle that the star trail swap through the sky. So if you can tap here to select different time. So if say 1 hour, it'll be 15 degree because the whole day is 24 hour, which is 360 degree. That's why 1/24 of 360, which is 15 degree. So that's how it's being calculated. You can also change the time. Let's say tonight I want to take star trail pictures, but I'll only have time starting from maybe 10 p.m. So you drag here to set to 10. And you want to take star trail for 2 hours. Swap down to select 2 hours. Now it's from 10 to 12, and it's gonna swap 30 degree over the sky. Well, the good part of this app is not only tell you the starting ending time, the duration, and the angle, but also can simulate what it look like. To do that, you just tap here to go to the viewfinder. And I'm gonna select the wide angle lens in this case so that I can see a more bigger range. And right now, the camera is viewing east. That's why I see this kind of star trail. If you drag to maybe over here, you see that's Polaris. You can tap here. That's Polaris. You can drag a slider. As time goes by, you will see a star trail formed. This is the actual star trail time. And you can, or you can simply non-press on ending time. So that's what you star trail picture you can take if you start taking picture from 10 all the way to 12. Or you can just press the play button. You can see how the star trail was formed. So whenever you have the time set, the time will become bold. Look at this is bold text and this one is bold text too. But you can tap here to select this auto, which means it can automatically calculate the starting time, which usually the dark light start time. And now it's can become a regular font. Same thing with the ending time, you can make it non-auto. And you can just drag it. Anytime you can see the actual StarTrail names, and it's starting from here all the way to here. And if you want to see the whole light, you can non-press. That will be total 7 hours, 27 minutes. That's the StarTrail you can form. Generally speaking, you want polish to be visible in your viewfinder so that you can get a full circle. But sometimes, depending on the foreground, it may or may not be necessary, because sometimes it's okay to have this kind of star trails because it works better with the foreground. So it really depends what kind of foreground you want to do. And if you have a tower or a mountain peak which is significantly higher than the rest, then maybe this kind of composition is better. But if you have other type, maybe this kind of star trail is okay. Decision is really up to you, but we just show you what it look like. Next, I will show you how to avoid the star trail. There is a toggle button right here. Right now, it is star trail mode. Tap on that, it will swap to a mode to avoid star trail. By default, we have this 500 rule. If you ever take any Milky Way or star pictures before, you should know about this 500 rule. This 500 rules give you a way to avoid the star trail. So for example, if I use a 14mm lens, in order to avoid a star trail in your picture, you need to use a maximum of 36 seconds. How do you get 36 seconds? Use 500 divided by 14, get 36. It's very easy. For most modern cameras, f2.8 lens, you can use this 500 rule. But if you have a slow lens, or maybe the camera's high ISO is not good, then you may use this 600 rule. The 600 rule is use 600 divided by 14, and you get 43. It's longer than the 36. Of course, it will see some star trails. So it's a compromise between enough light and the star trails. But we also introduced a new rule here. If you have very fast lens, like f1.2, f1.4 lens, your camera have a very good high ISO, you can use this COC rule introduced. The COC stands for Circle of Confusion. The algorithm basically uses the circle confusion, the pixel size of a sensor, and try to figure out the maximum shutter speed so that a star will not appear on two sensors. And here it tells you for the same 14mm lens, you can only have the shutter speed of 21. And here I also prepared a chart that shows the difference between the three rules. On the left side column, this is the focal length in millimeter. And this is 600 rule of the shutter speed, use a 600 rule. And this is shutter speed, use a 500 rule. And this shutter speed use COC rule. You can see the difference. As we know, the 600 and 500 are both linear algorithm, but for the COC rule, it's not linear. For this value, I time these two together. I time this 21 with this 14, and the result is 294. It's almost like 300 rule in this case. But we will get into the long focal length area, it's 400 rules. So this is just FYI if you're interested to know what exactly is COC rule. Next, I will create a plan to show you how to use the star trail feature. For that, I will go to Upper Yosemite Fall. So Upper Yosemite Fall is a very beautiful waterfall and very tall as well. You can see that from this Yosemite Valley. And the waterfall is right over there. First thing we're gonna do is we add a marker on top of it. Tap here, add a marker. I will change the marker to terrain waterfall. I will give a name as well, Upper Yosemite Fall. And I will show the name and show the elevation profile as well. I also want to make it to be my scene location, so I tap this scene button. So you see now we have a marker edit. We also have the scene pin was pinned at this particular location. Next, I will switch to the distance tool. Whenever we have the distance, you see there is a line. You see there's a line between the center of the map and the scene location. And we know that in order to take a picture of the star trail, goal of this plan is to find the location so that I can have a star trail picture of the upper Yosemite Fall, so that the center of the star trail will be aligned with the upper Yosemite Fall. So that it looks like a circle with the water coming out from the center. And that looks pretty good. First, I'll just find a good foreground that works better for this particular scene. So for that, I just drag the center of the map to somewhere, let's say maybe somewhere around the river. I use a river as a foreground, then have a star trail of the upper Yosemite Fall. This is a Polaris, so I just try to align the line with the Polaris, so it will end up somewhere around here. Maybe right over there. I set it as a camera location. Then I switch to the focal length. 14mm is good. Take a look. This is upper Yosemite Fall, and that's a Polaris. It's right above it. And then I can switch to the star trail mode and take a look. Maybe this kind of composition is better. So I can animate to see how the star trail forms. So it's right there, form a circle with the water coming from over here. Maybe going up a little bit. So it would be pretty nice composition. And if you take it for 2 hours, you have somewhere like that. I think it's good. But if you want to try to find a place that is perfect aligned, that's how you do it. And if maybe you want the Polaris aligned with the top of the Yosemite Fall, of course you can do that. So let's take a look how to do that in this case. The Polaris was at a 37.1 elevation angle. So in order to get there, I need to make sure the top of Yosemite Fall to this camera location will be 37 as well. So if I tap on that, I get 21. So which means I need to getting closer to the waterfall in order to get that kind of picture, right? So to do that, I just drag it. Maybe right over there. 32, still more. 38. So this is about right. So maybe somewhere around here. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty much it. I can show you what it looks like. So if I say whole day, that's what it looks like. Whether you like this composition or not, that's really up to you. But we have a situation here. Because if you go back, you take a look at the map, you see you are in a bunch of trees, which means it will be very hard to get this kind of picture because of tree around you. But chances are it's not possible to have this shot at all. But at least I show you how to do that in order to get this kind of picture you wanted. So if maybe when you have another foreground, maybe that works better. And clearly in this case, I would rather have a picture right over here instead of going over there. All right. So understand, right? That's the end of this video tutorial. Thank you for watching. Until next time.